everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Caroline Cruz, and you're joining us here on Lone Star Internet Radio with the Extension Hour. Thanks for letting us come on today. We've got a couple of cool things that we want to talk about. First, we'll do some brief introductions to let you know who all we have in the studio today. So like I said, my name is Caroline Cruz, and I am an extension agent here in Montgomery County. I am the Urban Youth Development Agent with the 4-H Youth Program. And we also have Rachel Cooper.
Hi, y'all. I'm the 4-H Program Assistant here in Montgomery County, and I help Caroline with the 4-H program.
And we also have Kasim Bevel.
I'm an intern with the Tarleton State University, just coming down to learn a little bit about the County Extension Agency.
And then we're also joined by a special guest, a good friend of the 4-H and the Extension program. From the city of Conroe, we have Elizabeth Anderson.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Anderson. I work for the city of Conroe, the Oscar Johnson Jr. Community Center, and we just enjoy partnering with the Extension Office in all kinds of different activities.
Good deal. So what we're going to talk about today, a few different things. As you know, springtime is really a busy time for everybody. There's so many great events that are going on around the county, around Conroe. And so we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we've been really heavily involved in. One big thing is definitely the Montgomery County Fair, which is going to be wrapping up this weekend with the cook-off. But starting last Friday, where all of the youth contests started up, and we're going on this week. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the activities at the fair that our 4-H members, that our youth are involved in. To start off with the fair, a lot of our members have been working really hard throughout the year on their projects. And those projects range from animal and livestock projects. All across the board, you have your steer projects, swine, chickens, goats, lambs, and horse projects as well. So there's a lot going on with that. Another huge part of the fair is the non-livestock competitions. So those things include things like food projects. There's decorated cakes, there's cookies, candy. There's also handicrafts, where students are making items where they may be sewing a project. There's also the photography contests. There's just a wide range of things that students can do. There's also a horticulture contest. So our kids have been really busy, and their parents, of course, this past week at the Montgomery County Fair. One of our members from the Montgomery Dobbin 4-H Club, she's been in this club for a long time, so is her family. Her name's Bailey Carwile, and she won Grand Champion Steer at the fair this week, and she was also crowned the 2016 Montgomery County Fair Queen. So that's just an example of one thing that our students can be involved in the fair. Something else we kind of want to talk to you about a little bit is Kids Days at the fair. If you're not familiar with that, that's a special event that happens the Monday and Tuesday of the county fair. So earlier this week, we got to see about 2,000 local students, teachers, parents, and family members come through the fair on Monday and Tuesday for Kids Days. It's a really neat kind of two-step process. In addition to the local students that come through, we also have high school members that are either members of the 4-H program or the FFA program that volunteer to be a tour guide at the fair. So as part of their learning project and their different experiences, they get to come out and be a tour guide to the students and to the schools that are coming through. They get to show them all around the fairgrounds, the different things that are going on, a lot of the educational activities that are happening. And so that's a really neat thing for them to be a part of as a tour guide. The second part of that is the actual educational activities that the youth get to go through. In particular, your 4-H office and your extension office is really involved in some of the educational activities for Kids Day. This year, we were really lucky that the city of Conroe partnered with us for Kids Day at the fair and helped us with some of the educational stations that we had. Some of the ones that we had included activities that were revolved around different parts of agriculture, in particular around vegetables and around insects and how they all play a part in agriculture. So one of the activities that we had was called Plant a Seed. It's pretty self-explanatory. We had students that came up and visited with us about the parts of a plant and how we grow vegetables, and each student that came through got to plant a seed to take home with them and take care of. Another one that we had as an activity, we talked about insects and how what their favorite insect might be. So they got to design an insect. Each student got to do that as well. Another activity that we had was we talked about the different parts of a plant, and we had students come up and pick up different vegetables and identify the different parts of the plant. So they had fun with those hands-on activities. Something else that we had in our area was a presentation called Chef Plate. And one of our coworkers at the Extension office has built upon a really neat, fun, and exciting presentation for students where they get to learn about My Plate, about food and nutrition, about vegetables, about eating healthy. It's a real interactive, live skit, so the students always have fun watching that. So that was something that they got to see as well at Kids Day at the fair. So we're going to talk a little bit about what some of our favorite things were at the fair for Kids Days and what we all each kind of had a little part in. Rachel, was there something in particular that you really liked about Kids Day?
I really enjoyed getting to see all the different schools come out, as well as kids that may not get a chance to come to the fair any other time. It's really a way for them to interact, like you said, with agriculture. I know that there's a petting zoo at Kids Day. They get to see the livestock. They get to see how the fair is run. But they also are learning something along the way while having fun, and that's always a good thing. Another thing that we had at Kids Day was the water trailer. They came out and did duck races, which is always really cool. They have it at Kidz Fest usually every year, and they also came out to Kids Day this year, and they just love that. And it's probably my favorite too. They use the old water pumps and get to race little rubber ducks, and I get a kick out of it. And the kids seem to as well.
Really good. Kason, was there anything that you really enjoyed at Kids Day at the fair this year? I know it was your first time to be a part of our Montgomery County Fair in this capacity, so what's something that you really enjoyed about that day?
Something that I really enjoyed was just that there was just being able to see a lot of the kids, and they really enjoyed it, and just being there to where I can help them learn about different things. I just really enjoyed that.
Good deal. Elizabeth, was there anything that you really liked? I know this was the first year that the city of Conroe was able to be a part of the Kids Days at the fair. So what's something that you really enjoyed, and do you think this is something that we can do in the future as well?
Most definitely. We really enjoyed going out there. A lot of the kids that came to Kids Day at the fair are also in our after-school programs. So it was nice to hear that, oh, look, it's Miss Elizabeth, and seeing the kids. And, we don't get to see them outside of after-school and camp and, just different special events we offer. So it was really cool to, for them to get to see us at the fair. So it's like an extra surprise. And so, then when we would go to after-school, they would say, I saw you at the fair, I saw you at the fair. So I think it's really important for the City of Conroe employees just to be seen in different areas of the community. And, that says stuff to the kids, that we are involved and that there's different stuff that they can learn about and participate in. And, they ask questions, why were you out there? What were you doing? What was that? So we can just help them. And, that's just another way that they can learn and grow. And so it's just always nice to see our participants that are in our programs, seeing them somewhere else.
And like I mentioned there, Tuesday is usually the busiest day for Kids Days, and there were 1,200 students, plus teachers, plus parents on the grounds at the fair on Tuesday alone. So overall, we saw roughly around 2,000 students. So for them to be able to come out, to get out of class for the day, come out and have fun at the fair, but they also get to learn things along the way. And we definitely could not do that without the partnerships that we have, because anticipating for 1,200 students to come through, you can imagine that you need a lot of hands on deck to help those activities and events go off without a hitch, so that it's really enjoyable by all the students and the teachers as well. So that was really great. Something to mention about Kids Days is that it's free for schools. There are a lot of things that schools in particular, when you're looking for something to do as far as a field trip goes, cost is always a factor. So keep in mind, if you're listening out there and you have a school, even a daycare program, there's a lot of younger groups that come out for Kids Days. So if you're interested in that, keep in touch with the Montgomery County Fair, because like I mentioned, it's a really neat program for you to be a part of, and there's no cost for schools to participate. As long as you can get transportation to the fair, then you have free reign of all of the hands-on activities for students to come through and look and see, and that's at no cost to you. So we hope that that's something that you might think about doing in the future. Even if you're not a part of a big school group and you have young ones at home, usually for those early hours in the day, it's really easy for you to get onto the fairgrounds and come through when there's not as a big crowd, versus if you come on the weekend or even during a weeknight to come out to the fair. If you can make it during those school hours, you'll usually get a little bit more hands-on and not have to worry about such a big crowd. Something else that you would get to see if you came out during the earlier hours are some of the actual contests that happen during the weekdays. So that would be any of the livestock competitions. You can get to come through and watch that. And that's always fun for young ones especially, to come out and watch and see some of the older kids that they may look up to, and see some of the things maybe in a few years they might be interested once they reach the 4-H age of being in the 3rd grade to join and become a member. So it's just a neat time for the family. Come out and see what's going on and see what the local youth are participating in, and just something extra special to come out and see.
For more information or more knowledge on the Extension Hour or the County Extension Office, you can call us at 936-539-7823, Extension 3.
You are listening to the Extension Hour on irlonestar.com.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
Tune in every Sunday night right here on Lone Star Internet Radio for adventure, romance, thrills, chills, and everything vintage radio drama can bring. The Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour comes to you every Sunday at 7 p.m. with brand new episodes monthly. Our productions always feature actors, music, and sound effects performed completely live. And now you can enjoy seeing each new episode performed on stage at the Owen Theater in Conroe. Check out www.irlonestar.com for information about upcoming episodes. Relive the glory days of vintage radio drama right here with the Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio.
SPCA PetSnap of Montgomery County is a 501c3 all-volunteer-based rescue and adoption organization with a no-kill policy for healthy and adoptable animals. Our goals are fourfold: to rescue and rehabilitate homeless animals, to provide a safe haven for the animals until a suitable adoption or foster care home is found or until they are reunited with their owner, to educate the public about the great need to reduce pet population, which includes the importance of having their pets spayed and neutered, and to further the cause for humane and responsible pet ownership, and to provide a low-cost spay-neuter clinic for people who are unable to afford to spay or neuter their pets otherwise. SPCA Pet Snap of Montgomery County encourages you to think adoption first. You can contact us at www.spcaofmc.com.
You're listening to the Extension Hour with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. Visit us online at montgomery.agrilife.org. Hi, welcome back to the Extension Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio. We just kind of wrapped up talking about the Montgomery County Fair. Now, some of the other things that we're going to talk about in this segment are some of the really cool partnerships that the Extension Service here in Montgomery County has with the city of Conroe, in particular with the Parks and Recreation Department. We are so fortunate that we have opportunities all during the year to collaborate on a wide range of different events, activities, and programs. So we're going to talk about some of those right now, and one in particular that is coming up here at the end of the month in April, and that is Conroe Kidz Fest. So with us here in studio is Elizabeth Anderson from the city of Conroe, and so we're going to talk a little bit about what Kidz Fest is, when is it taking place, and why you should think about coming out to the Kidz Fest this year. Elizabeth, you want to tell us a little bit about Kidz Fest?
We are so ready for Kidz Fest this year. It's our favorite time of the year. Kidz Fest this year is on April 30th, the last Saturday in April. It's from 10 to 5, rain or shine typically. We're really praying for good weather this year. One reason we're really wanting this beautiful weather is because this will be the first year ever that we actually have a snow hill. So who would have thought a snow hill in April? It's going to be so awesome. The kids will have the opportunity to play on a snow hill and then also go down like a slide that's snow. So that's one of the additions that we added to the Kidz Fest this year. Also, who does not want to come out and see the Ninja Turtles? So the Ninja Turtles will be there. We're really excited. We think, the kids will love that. We also have different villages, from the Discovery Village to the Art Village, Sports Village, History Village, Health Village, just tons of different villages that we have all sorts of different arts and crafts projects in, moonwalks and inflatables, old reenactments, pie eating contests. I mean, anything you can think of. It's going to be in downtown Conroe on April 30th. We also have vendors, food vendors, tons of snow cone vendors. We're really excited. This is a great opportunity for you to bring your family out and enjoy a day where you don't have to spend any money. You can walk in the gates. Admission is free, and you can also pack a lunch. Of course, we do have the food vendors and, drink vendors, but it's a day that your kids can participate in activities all day long and play, and it not cost you anything. One of the cool things that we'll have this year is in the Discovery Village, the water trailer that Rachel talked about in the previous segment, it will be there. So the kids love to come and do the duck races. Also in the Discovery Village, they're making the famous sombrero hats. All the kids look forward to that every year. And the Cultural Village has a stage that's going to have different acts going on all day. Also in Heritage Place, we will have a stage with different dance performances and, different performances. We also have the Splash Village that'll have some water slides and an opportunity to shoot water guns.
Can you tell us a little bit about, if you've never been to Kidz Fest before, what is a good thing for parents or families to know about the actual location of Kidz Fest, and where they should look out for different things. If they say, I want to come to Kidz Fest, and I know it's in downtown Conroe, we know Kidz Fest has grown so much over the years, so what would you suggest to families that have never been out when they're planning to come to Kidz Fest?
Definitely there are, 4 different entrances. There's an entrance off of Main Street right by the courthouse, and then also on Main Street by Drury Parking. So, those are the 2 big entrances. And then we also have 2 entrances off of Heritage Park. One on, both sides of the park. There's a parking garage in downtown that, a lot of people park in, and then they're just able to walk across to the next entrance. It's important when you come to Kidz Fest, just, know that it is all over downtown Conroe. So if you're looking for a particular activity, you might have to, walk from one side of the festival to the other. Make sure that you stay hydrated and, drink lots of water, bring sunscreen, because hopefully it'll be a beautiful day outside. But so we do have different places to park and different entrances. So like if you wanted to go to the Safety Village or to the Cultural Village, the best place to park would be Drury Parking right off of Main Street.
And so when they're thinking about coming out with their family, so you mentioned the parking garage that is in downtown as an opportunity to park. Is there any charge to park in the parking garage?
No, it's free.
And for entrance to Kidz Fest, there is no fee to get into the gates?
Nope, it's completely free.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit more about, I know we mentioned some of the villages that are in Kidz Fest. If we were looking at, I know we mentioned the Sports Village. What are some of the things that are going to be featured in the Sports Village this year?
This year we're super excited about the Sports Village because the Houston Astros and the Houston Dynamos are going to be in the Sports Village. We also are going to have a big boxing arena outside on the street, so kids will be able to get into a huge boxing ring and work with a trainer to learn some different moves. There's also Texan flag football. They're going to be in there doing some football throws, and then of course we have the rock wall, which all the kids love. And then we also have a soccer group that'll be in there running relays, which is the Dutch lines.
Awesome. What about some things that happen over in the Art Village? I know there's always a lot of really cool hands-on things that are going over there. Is there anything in particular, or just think of things that are related to art that the kids may get to come up and do?
The Art Village has a variety of stuff, definitely some arts and crafts. This year it's themed around the monarch butterflies. The Junior Master Gardeners, which is an organization kind of out of the Extension office, they'll be there and, showing the kids about different plants and, making kind of like a plant craft. And then they also have a puppet show. They have like a musical petting zoo where kids can learn about instruments and stuff. And then they also have the stage. So
that's a lot of things going on in the Art Village. What about, you mentioned the History Village. Where is that usually around in Kidz Fest? What are some of the things that we've seen in past years with the History Village?
The History Village will have this new inflatable game that's going to be really awesome called Redneck Games. And so kids will actually have the opportunity to stand on this little platform and a log is going to try to knock them down. We're super excited about that. We have a pie eating contest every hour on the hour. We have a blacksmith. The pistoleros come and do old gun reenactments. They have quilters and, just different stuff to, get kids to kind of learn about their heritage. Also in the History Village this year, I don't know if anybody knows that Disney movie, The Cars. We're going to have Mater and Car, the Lightning McQueen in the village.
Oh, that's really cool. I'm sure that kids will love to come out and see that. Something else that we heard that is going to be featured over in the Discovery Village is the Nutty Scientist. So what can folks expect to see when they come by and see the Nutty Scientist?
The Nutty Scientist is a group that the C.K. Ray Recreation Center and also the Oscar Johnson Center partners with. And they basically just love science and they love to teach kids about science. So they'll be doing different demos all day long. They might make foam or, Show kids like how to freeze ice or freeze water to like a certain temperature where it like, smokes and stuff. Just, different activities that, teaches kids how to do it and how to see a result.
So if I really liked snakes, would I see anything related to snakes at Kidz Fest?
Most definitely, and that's also going to be in the Discovery Village. Texas Snakes will have a 20-foot tent that will be filled with the little creatures.
Very cool. Everybody says they don't like to see snakes, but then they can't run away from that station. They love to come and see all of the snakes. Any other type of animals that are going to be around Kidz Fest?
If you go on over to the Earth Village, they will have some different kinds of turtles and crocodiles if that interests you.
So there's going to be crocodiles out at Kidz Fest, that's right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So keep that in mind when you're making your plans for the end of this month. Definitely think about coming out to Conroe Kidz Fest. Like Elizabeth mentioned, it is a free family event. You'll be surprised at all of the different activities, all of the different attractions, everything that will be performing on the stage throughout the whole area, and that this is all brought to you right here in our Conroe area for free. So it's a really great chance for families to come out, have some fun, spend some time outside, walk around, meet new people, and see all of the neat things that Conroe Kidz Fest has to offer the local Conroe area. So definitely look out for that. Elizabeth, remind us again the dates and the date and the time for Kidz Fest for families to start making their plans.
It's Saturday, April 30th from 10 to 5, and it really is a community event. We couldn't do it without the different partnerships and also the different sponsors. So everyone really enjoys this event and, is willing to help us put it on. So it really is a community event. I just would like to thank all of our sponsors that help make it happen.
Sounds good. So, folks, when you're getting your plans ready, put that on your calendar. Come out to Conroe Kidz Fest. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes at the Extension Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio.
You're listening to the Extension Hour with Texas A&M AgriLife. Visit us online at montgomery.agrilife.org.
Hello, Montgomery County. I'm Rachel Baldwin with Special Olympics Texas Area 6. Are you a fan of courage? Are you a fan of determination? Are you a fan of acceptance, grace, and skill? Then you're already a fan of Special Olympics. Make it official. Volunteer, coach, and/or compete and be a fan of dignity and acceptance. The dedication of our Special Olympics Texas volunteers provides mainstreaming experiences for athletes with intellectual disabilities. You will touch the heart of another person, and it will move you in a meaningful way that lifts the spirit. Please visit the Heart of East Texas Area 6 webpage at www.sotx.org. Also, like us on Facebook to be a fan and be part of Special Olympics Texas.
Hello, I'm Bonita DeRosa, Animal Control Officer for the City of Willis. We invite you to tune in to Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. for the Willis Hour. On the first Thursday of the month, the Willis Hour will be covering upcoming events and news about the city. Join in the conversation with your city officials and other leaders in the community. On the third, we will be doing a recap of the last City Council meeting. The mission of the City of Willis is to provide high-quality services, accountability, and professional commitment to our citizens. We pledge to provide those who live, work, and visit our city an effective government that is open and responsive to the needs and values of the community. Again, we invite you to tune in on Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 for the Willis Hour.
Doing business since 1985, Assistance League of Montgomery County is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where all proceeds stay in Montgomery County. Through our Operation School Bell program, we have provided new clothes to over 50,000 students in our county. Visit our thrift shop at 126 North San Jacinto Street in downtown Conroe or call us at 936-760-1151. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
I'm Lieutenant Bob Berry with the Conroe Police Department, reminding you that texting and talking on the phone while driving are not only dangerous, but also illegal in school zones and other posted areas. Drive safely and alert.
You're listening to the Extension Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio every Friday afternoon at 1 p.m.
Hi, welcome back to the Extension Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio. We just finished talking about Conroe Kidz Fest, which is a really big family fun event that is free in downtown Conroe, coming up at the end of this month on April 30th. So make sure to put that on your calendar for your family. Something else we're going to talk about, that's another partnership that the Extension Service here in Montgomery County has with the City of Conroe and with the Parks and Recreation Department, are some of the after-school programs that are offered at some of the Conroe ISD schools. So it's we've been partnering in after-school programs for quite a while, for many years. We just wrapped up a series this school year, so we're going to talk a little bit about some of the highlights of that program and some of the other things that we're doing and making plans for this summer. Rachel Cooper is our Montgomery County 4-H program assistant, so we're going to talk a little bit now about some of those after-school programs that we had this year.
You're right. Just this last fall, we wrapped up an 8-week cycle where we visited all the different after-school sites that Oscar Johnson Community Center works with. And what we did is we were in a rotation with 4-H and Better Living for Texas, Oregon Wise, and the Grow Eat Grow program. And each of those were a dose of healthy lifestyles or healthy food and nutrition. They all kind of tied together so that we can really, really help make sure that we're getting our youth the right information. I don't know much about the Oregon Wise and Grow Eat Go programs because I personally was working with the 4-H, but I do know that we work together to tie things together. And 4-H and BLT, or Better Living for Texas, really worked on the food challenge aspect of it, which is actually a competition in 4-H. And what we did is over the 8-week period, we prepared them to do a food challenge competition, which is a lot like the Iron Chef that we see on TV. They're given ingredients that they can't see, they don't know what they are, and they have to use their imaginations, be creative, but also do everything safely and healthy. So if we gave them fruit, they had to wash it. If they had to use a knife, they had to be very careful. We taught them how to properly use a knife. We taught them how to properly measure things so that at the end of the food challenge, they have to give a presentation. And we had each of the teams stand up and present to us, which is really good to start at the young age. You have those shy ones that really don't want to come out of their shell and talk very much. But when it's a competition, man, they get after it. They want to tell you everything they did, how they did it. And that's really what we were going for. And it really helps them with teamwork was a big part of it. They had to work in teams of 3 to 5, sometimes maybe 6, just because the after-school programs are very popular here in the Conroe area. They really, really enjoyed it. They got to do a lot of hands-on things, and actually, once we wrapped that up, we decided to do it with some of the older kids. Right now, I'm currently meeting with Bosman Intermediate, which is 5th and 6th graders. We are working again on the food challenge, but a little bit more competitive because, like I said, they're older. So far, last time I took different fruits. I took some yogurt, some cinnamon, things. I laid them out on the table, and we actually had to do a team building game. I have 5 different teams there. They all had to complete the human knot, which is really, really a fun game. A lot of them have done it before, and whoever finished first got to pick the first 3 ingredients. It was kind of a way to where you had to work as a team, but you also were being given an advantage if you won. The team that was finished in 5th place got the remaining 3 ingredients. So they actually kind of got the short end of the stick, but at the same time, they had to be the most creative and actually made one of the better dishes. They were given applesauce, blackberries, and oranges, and they actually made a really cool, really inventive dish. Each one of them got to stand up, tell about what they made, where it fit on my plate, why it was healthy for you. And actually some of the older kids even know what the different fruits and vegetables do for your body, which is something that when you get more competitive into it that they absolutely need to know. And then we let them try everyone's. And they really got a kick out of that. Some of them could not believe that applesauce and blackberries tasted good together. The team that had first pick actually had graham crackers, yogurt, and apples and thought that they had it made. And they ended up not caring for their own and actually liked the team that had the worst pick, I guess, the most. But it's really something we have going on right now. They really get into it. We've been going a couple of times, each time teaching them a little bit more, like how to properly measure, how to speak in front of a judge, how to work as a team, make sure everyone is involved. And it's just little different things here and there that are slowly coming together, and they're going to be pretty competitive here soon.
And so the food challenge, that's something that they can do in 4-H, is that right?
Correct. It is a food, there is a food challenge competition. It's really big at district. This year, Montgomery County has about 9 teams that are going, and they're actually being very, very competitive, and it's something that they can do and advance to state as well.
Yep, and I checked registration again, and we've bumped from 9 teams up to 12.
Oh,
so
wow.
now we have 12 teams from Montgomery County that will be competing in the District 4-H Roundup and the Food Challenge contest. It's really interactive. It's fast-paced. There's that element of surprise because the students don't know what ingredients they're getting. So they're all just anticipating, waiting to open that bag at the contest to see what they have to work with. So all of those things mixed together with 3 or 5 team members can make for a really fun contest to be a part of and to watch and just to see the interaction. Talking about the after school programs, Elizabeth, can you tell us a little bit about information about after school programs? How many sites are the programs at? That are going on with the city of Conroe, and if someone's interested in their own child being a part of after-school programs, what should they know about it, or how can they go about finding information?
The after-school recreation program is at 9 different after-school locations. We pick up from B.B. Rice in Giesinger Elementary School and Cryer Intermediate and Travis Intermediate. And we bring those kids to the Oscar Johnson Center. But we also have actual on-site locations at elementary schools. Sam Houston Elementary, Anderson Elementary School, Bosman Intermediate, Patterson Elementary School, Runyon Elementary School, Reeves, Wilkinson, and we have staff that are there at the school. The school releases the children to our staff, and then our staff help with homework. They provide a snack, and then we have recreation play where we have time to go on the playground, and then also time to play recreation games. And then we also have support activities such as the 4-H office that come in and do activities. We've had Nettie scientists at the school. Sam Houston Elementary School, one of their teachers, Miss Blanchard, actually comes in and teaches the girls knitting. And so I don't think I've ever been to Sam Houston that the girls haven't been knitting. And they make dolls, so they learn how to knit, and then their big project is a doll that they donate to a charity. So each school has something different going on. Right now we're doing the Walk Across Texas. All of our schools are doing that. Not only are our staff participating, but our children are also participating as well. So it's been a great partnership with the 4-H office and the Better Living for Texas and the Learn, Grow, Eat, Go, because our side of it is recreation, and then being able to bring those support activities in and teach about healthy living and a healthy lifestyle and how exercise is important, so it all ties together for these kids. So we're able to keep them happy and healthy, and offering healthy snacks. That's something that our Oregon-wise program has taught them and was something we've been doing. So if you want more information about the after-school program, you can go into www.cityofconroe.org to the Parks and Recreation page, or you can also call 936-522-3960 for more information.
So if a family is looking at participating in the after-school program, maybe at their student's school, or if they're one that may get bused to the Oscar Johnson Center, can they join the after-school program at any time throughout the school year, or is it a certain time of the year that they need to plan to enroll, or can someone just kind of jump in midway through or right now and say, hey, this is something that we want to do?
It really depends on the site. Typically, we have ongoing registration through the whole school year, but some sites fill up, so we do have a waiting list. But that information can just be found by calling the office and just saying, hey, my child attends this school. Do you have a site there? And you are accepting registrations. So.
Okay. Something else that's coming up pretty quick is obviously summer. And what are some of the things quickly that parents can get involved in and have their children be a part of during the summertime?
Well, we have the famous Camp Fun Quest that's held at the Oscar Johnson Center and the C.K. Ray Recreation Center across the street at the Activity Center. So this year we'll be going on field trips. It's the first year we'll take the kids to the circus 1 week out of the summer. We swim 3 days a week. We have different programs such as 4-H that comes in and, does the famous wildlife tracks and, teaches them about germs. We have art projects. We go to parks. We do challenges between our kids and our counselors. Just tons of different things to keep the kids busy.
What's the Totally Teen program?
We also have the Totally Teen program. It's for students that are going into the 7th and 8th grade program. Their program's a little bit unique. They still swim and go on field trips, but they go on field trips 2 days a week. And then they also do a community service project. So they work with different organizations to teach the kids about, being a better citizen and, volunteering and, just different stuff like that.
And I know we're excited over at the Extension office to have the Totally Teen program come over to our office once a week, and they'll get to participate in a wide variety of different 4-H activities. So we've got a really fun-filled summer planned out for them. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we've got a few more things to talk about on the Extension Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio. You are listening to the Extension Hour on irlonestar.com.
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids are removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
Hi folks, it's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and I want to invite you to join me every Saturday morning right here on Lone Star Internet Radio from 8 to 9 for Outdoors with Luke Clayton and Friends. Bill Dance is a frequent guest. Larry Weisser, Mr. Whitetail, is on the show every week. We talk a lot of hunting and fishing and generally have a good time. So remember, every Saturday morning, 8 to 9, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio.
I'm Lieutenant Bob Berry with the Conroe Police Department, reminding you that drinking and driving do not mix. Drinking and driving causes an alcohol-related fatality every hour in the United States. Stay sober and stay alive.
You're listening to the Extension Hour with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. Visit us online at montgomery.agrilife.org. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us on the Extension Hour this Friday on Lone Star Internet Radio. We just wrapped up talking about some of the really fun events and activities that have been happening so far this spring and some things that are coming up, like Conroe Kidz Fest at the end of this month. We had Elizabeth Anderson from the City of Conroe Parks and Recreation Department talk to us about Kidz Fest. She talked a little bit about after-school programs in the City of Conroe, and then about some things coming up this summer with Camp Fun Quest. And again, if you have any questions about that or want to enroll your students in Camp Fun Quest for the summer or in an after-school program, give them a phone call or look them up over at the Oscar Johnson Jr. Community Center, and they'll be glad to help you out with that. I'm joined here back again with Rachel Cooper and Kason Bevel. We're going to talk a little bit about some different contest areas and some really cool activities going on in the 4-H program right now. We have an event that is called 4-H Roundup, and what that event consists of is a wide range of different contests or events that 4-H members can participate in. To kind of get that started, we first hold a Roundup event here in our county just for Montgomery County 4-H members. And just a reminder, to be a member of 4-H, young people need to be in the 3rd grade or 8 years old, and then they can be a member all the way through their senior year of high school. So we have 3rd graders through 12th graders that participate in these events that we're about to talk about. So no matter if they're a 3rd grader, if they're an 8th grader, if they're about to graduate from high school, they can all participate in these contests we're about to talk about. We held our county 4-H Roundup just a few weeks ago at the end of March, and it was a big day for us over at the 4-H office. We have Kason Bevel with us, and he is an intern with us this semester. Kason, will you remind folks a little bit about your internship and what university you go to?
Yes, I go to Tarleton State University, and I'm just learning all about my focus is the 4-H office, but I'm learning a little bit about everything. And just with all different kinds of contests, I mean, we have a consumer decision making, entomology. There's a lot of different kinds.
Mm-hmm. Some things that you were able to do with us, Kason, are put together some of those contests for our county 4-H Roundup. I'm going to ask a little bit about some of those contests so folks maybe can get a better idea of what those are. One of the contests that you really helped us pull together this time for our County 4-H Roundup, you just mentioned entomology. So at our County 4-H Roundup, we had basically a sampler of different contests that members can participate in at Roundup at the district level, which is a step up from the county contest. So we were able to provide members with a mock setup of what an actual contest will look like when they get to go to the district Roundup that will take place at the end of April. So for the entomology contest, if that is something that a student is interested in, what did they get to experience at County Roundup for entomology?
For entomology, there's 2 different kinds. You could either do a bug collection, and you have to have a certain amount of each kind depending on whether you're a junior, intermediate, or senior. And then another different kind you can do is just the test, and there's a matching fill in the blank, and there's even a crossword for the juniors.
So that is something that if a student or young person is interested in insects, maybe they're doing an insect collection for school, they can also put that to work for the 4-H contest as well. So that's something that some folks might be interested in. One of the other contests that they can do is a veterinary science skill-a-thon. So what were some of the things that you helped out with that?
With the veterinary skill-a-thon, like some of the different sections are like identifying different kinds of animals, like different breeds of like pigs, cattle, goats, just different things like that. And then there's also like reading a medicine label and like doing withdrawals and calculating all that.
So it's kind of it's a mixture where some things they may have to identify something. There's some parts where they have to answer questions. So it really is a skill-a-thon where they're putting their different knowledge and skills together to work on that contest. Another one that we had that Rachel talked a little bit more about is the consumer decision-making contest. So what is that activity?
The Consumer Decision Making Contest is made up of several different classes, and each class is related to something that you can buy. I'm going to use, for an example, nutritious snacks. There will be 4 different nutritious snacks that have, and then you're given a scenario with certain requirements. Say, Kaysen wants only snacks that have this many calories. So what you do is you place those snacks in order based upon what is closest to your requirements and what's least closest. So from first through fourth, because there are 4 items in each class. And then you place those, and judges have gone through, placed those already, and you get a score based on how close you get or if you get a perfect score. And you have several different classes that you go through and do that. For the older members, they can give an oral presentation, and that goes towards their score. And what happens is they go in front of judges and they tell them why they placed the class the way they did and why they think that the goldfish should be the Nutri-Grain bar. It's just an example for the nutritious snacks. They have all different classes such as backpacks, blue jeans, cooking utensils. It just depends on what they have gotten together for each individual class.
So basically they're using the skills that they've learned in the consumer education 4-H project of how to make a good decision based on something that might be the best choice, putting that at the top, and that price might be a factor of that. If they can make the best buy for their budget and make the best choice for what goes along with the scenario that they're given.
Absolutely. It's a life skill. It's something that we always do. It's bargain shopping. It's something that you have to do for your entire life, and it's one of those contests that will stick with them forever.
Mm-hmm. Another contest we're going to talk about really quickly is the Scientific Method Poster Contest. Basically, it's like a science fair. A lot of students are already doing projects for their school science fair. They can also enter that or come up with something completely new for the 4-H science contest. Something that's really neat about that is if you are a high school member, so if you are in 9th through 12th grade, and if you do well at the local contest and at the district contest, you get to advance to the state competition, which is held in June on the campus of Texas A&M University as part of State 4-H Roundup. And there is up for grabs a $1,000 scholarship prize for first place in each of the 6 contest categories. So $6,000 will be given away to 6 deserving students at State 4-H Roundup. So that's something to think about. That's a pretty neat prize for winning first place for a science fair. So one thing that you can participate in. Rachel, I know as a 4-H member, you were a part of some of these contests as well. Is that right?
Absolutely. And the big thing is District Roundup is happening April 29th and 30th. And they're going to get to participate in all of those. It's something that I hold near and dear to my heart, and I definitely was able to participate in.
Well, thanks again for joining us this Friday on the Extension Hour. Have a great weekend.